Hey, badass business owner, we're getting a bonus episode this week because it's Thursday and we are going to talk about your business numbers. I know we talked about your business numbers and knowing your business numbers in the last episode, but there's something I've been wanting to talk about because it's kind of a hot topic out there today, and that has to do with this whole $15 an hour, and if we're going to make that the average wage out there for folks. Now, the purpose of this episode is not to debate the merits of whether someone should pay $15, not pay $15, if it's going to destroy our small businesses, if it's not going to destroy our small businesses. I don't want to get into all of that. What I want to do is I want to get ahead and get you thinking a different way, because right now at $750, that's not going to work. And whether it goes all the way to 15 or it doesn't go to all of 15, it's going to change. And it may land somewhere in the middle. It may eventually get to 15. Some of you are already at 15. The reality is it's going to change. So how does this impact your business? That's the part we need to look at. We need to take a close look at your business and what does that mean for you? For some of you, it's not going to impact you at all. Because of the type of business that you're in, you're already paying people $15 or more. Now, it may mean that the $15 you might want to, if your whole goal is to pay that because that's the going rate, that's one thing. If you pay 15 because you want to be ahead of people to keep and retain people, then you may have to look how you're going to go to $17 an hour. If you've listened to the podcast, you know that I am a huge fan of paying people what they're worth. I think that if you can continue to pay people $20, $25, and the value is there, the return on that money is there, then more power to you. Because just like two cars can go from point A to point B, the biggest difference that you get when you pay for a $30,000 car versus a $60,000 car is all the bells and whistles and extra stuff that it does. So same thing with your employees. If your employees are giving a way above and beyond, then you should continue to take care of them, and they are a great asset to your business, especially if they are helping you make great bank, if they are helping you with that profitability. For the majority of you, the challenge you have is you're paying people probably $10, $12. You might be having people that are at minimum wage, especially if you're a brick and mortar or you just have entry level. Most people do not go straight to minimum wage, although there are some people out there that do that. So what you have to ask yourself is, how is this going to impact my business? Well, you got to kind of keep in mind a few different things. Employees, for the most part, they're not giving us 100%, nor are you ever really going to get a full 100%. Most employees are giving between 70 and 80% of themselves in their day-to-day work. So what your goal has to be is, how do you get them to go from 70 to 80 all the way up to 80, 90, and 95%? Think of yourself as the 100%. No one works as hard in your business as you do. Occasionally you're blessed and you find an employee that gives even more than you do. But for majority of people, we got to figure out, how do we get 90% productivity out of these employees? And a lot of that has to do with the fact that we don't have clear expectations. We're not clear on what we expect them to do, so they have a lot of roaming around time. We don't hold them accountable to working all the time. There's a lot of self-reflection that you have to do when it comes to your employees. Are you getting the most out of your employees, and how much of it is due to them? How much of it is due to you? For example, if they're not trained and they're not having the skills they need to do the business, so therefore they're not as productive, well, that's on you. You need to have a better onboarding and training program for those employees. So the biggest thing you have to do is you have to look inward, because here's the thing. You got to run the numbers first, right? So let's just say you have somebody who works 30 hours a week at $12 an hour. Well, if you take the 30 times the 12, you pay them $360 a week. So what you want to do is say, okay, well, what if that changed to $15? Well, if you change that to $15, just do the calculation in reverse and it'll tell you how many, and you got to keep your payroll the same number. So what you have to do is say, okay, well, then how many hours does that let me have this person work? Well, that same 360 divided by the 15 is actually 25 hours. So there's a couple different ways that you can do this, because you can say, hey, I can pay you $15 an hour. I just can't work as many hours in the beginning. It just means you have to go from 30 hours down to 25 hours. And that's going to basically be a wash. So at $12 versus the 15, that's one way to look at it. It's a difference of $5. So you have to ask yourself, if that employee was there 5 hours less, how would that would maintain your payroll, but at the same time is, how do you get the same workload done? Now, let's just say you just leave them at their 30 hours and you move them up to 15. Now you're going up to $450. So 360 up to 450. So now what you have to do is say, okay, that's $90 more a week I have to pay for this employee. So what do I have to do in sales in order to be able to stay as profitable? Well, if you have the $90 and you know that you run a 20% profitability, then if you take the 90 and you divide it by that 20%, you have to do an additional 450 in sales. I know this is going crazy because I'm doing it over audio. Just bear with me. I'm doing the math for you. It means you have to create an additional 450 in sales to be able to take them up to that $15 from the $12 that they're currently at. No matter how you look at this, you have to look at it from both directions. So it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So what you can do today is you can start creeping people up. So if you pay them $12 today, have a plan of saying, okay, how can I increase their value from 12 to 1250, 1250 to 13, 1350 to 14? Because even if they approve the 15, it's not going to happen tomorrow. It's going to be gradual and it's going to have a step up basis. That's how they do most minimum wage increases. That's how they typically do them. So what you want to do is you want to have a plan in place, and you want to look at it from both ways. Is how do you get more out of them? Okay. How do you train them better? How do you get more productivity out of them? So now you're going to want to take them from 12 to 1250, 1250 to 13. You give them a path to get up there today and not wait for that $15. But then at the same time, you as a business owner need to be working backwards, saying, okay, I need to, by doing this, by increasing the wages of these people and by giving them the hours still and not cutting their hours, what do I need to get out of sales in order to break even? But here's the scary part. Usually when an employee gets better at what it is that they do, you automatically get more sales. Okay. If somebody's really good and you've trained them on how to do upsells or how to get more business, guess what? Your sales are going to get more because they're a better employee. So they're offering more goods and services to people and you're being able to increase your sales. If an employee is even better at what their job is, they have less waste. So therefore you have less profit going out the door because of people not doing their job correctly. So really it comes down, a lot of this comes down to you stepping up as a business owner and improving your processes, your systems, and your training on the employees that you have. By doing that now, you're going to be ready for anything that they can throw you because you've already been working your way towards that and you're already ahead of the game. So I don't want you to get lost going, oh my God, my business is going to tank. There's no way I can pay $15 an hour, blah, 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 blah. I think we get so hung up on the fact that we can't see a path today. And I get it. If you're only paying people $10, the thought of paying them $15 is overwhelming and you think you're not going to get there. I need you to step out of that and I need you to step back and say, okay, what has to be true in order for this to work? What do I need to do today to start slowly increasing them? What do I need to do today to get more productivity out of them? What do I need to do in sales in order to get there? What should my hours look like in order to get there? There's so many moving pieces to making this work, but the problem is so many of us are running our business, running from job to job to job to job. We don't work on the business and start figuring out what has to be true in order to make it work. And I think that if all of you just took a deep breath and not get hung up on all of the political buzz and all the things going on when it comes around this $15 an hour and just said, hey, because I think all of us can agree everybody deserves to make a living wage, including yourself. The whole purpose that I'm trying to do with the podcast is to help you get to the point where you make a great living and you have you make the money you need for your family. Your employees have the exact same right to be able to do. So don't get hung up on the $15 and how we're going to get there and we shouldn't be doing this and we shouldn't be doing that. Stop. All right. Just ask yourself, what do you have to do in your business to be able to fairly compensate your people for the work that they do? And if you say, wow, my work isn't worth $15 an hour, well, once again, that's on you. How can you make it a $15 an hour job? How can you step up what it is you require of your employees? What do you have to do from an accountability standpoint? What do you have to do from having a list of duties that you expect out of them? All right, look inward first and say, what do I have to do to do this? I struggle with some parts of it. You know what? Paying someone $15 to put a sausage patty on a round bun or a hamburger on a circle and they still can't do that. I get it. Okay. I do think that there are some issues with it, but I think for the majority of the jobs that we're paying grown ass adults for, that they deserve to be able to feed their family and not struggle. I want you to start thinking, how are you going to do this? So take the math, run the numbers, and start figuring out now how you can start creeping there. Okay. You're not going to have to do this tomorrow, but you need to start tomorrow on working your way there. So figure out where you are today with your employees. How do you get them to that next level and to the next level and to the next level, to where pretty soon when the 15 comes out, you've been there, done that. You already got that t-shirt. It doesn't impact you at all because you've already built a business that already takes really good care of your employees. A place that people want to work for you because of what you afford them to do in their business. So I just wanted to take a few minutes and really just start reframing how you look at this whole conversation about what you pay people. Start with the golden rule. If it was you being that employee, what would you want? What would make it so that you wanted to work there and that you would love to be able to be paid this great wage? All right. So when you think about that, you can kind of look at it a little bit differently. Like I said, don't panic. It's not going to happen tomorrow. You're not going to have to go from 10 to 15 tomorrow, but it will gradually go. So just get ahead of that train and just start putting things in place today. Instead of you having to turn something on before you put the foundation in place, all I'm asking you to do is put the damn foundation in place so that way you're ready and you're already working your way there to where it's just a blink in your business. It's very easy for you to be able to do. All right, I'm rattling, so I'm out of here. You know that's what I love to do. I love to get passionate about stuff to get you fired up to make those changes in your business. So let's get ahead of this one. All right, let's get ahead of it. We'll talk about it more as it continues to pop up and rear its head. But for today, I just want you to start thinking, what has to be true in order for me to easily pay all of the employees that work for me that $15, so this way I can start working and getting myself there with them. And it's just a blink in my business. It doesn't impact me at all. That's how I want you to be when this whole thing rolls out. All right, with that, I'm out of here. I'll talk to you guys on the next episode. Now get out there and be the badass that I know you are. Hey, badass business owner, before you go, as you know, I'm a huge believer in you knowing your business numbers. After all, it isn't about how much you sell, it's about what you keep. And the best way to grow your profits is to start diving in and understanding those business numbers. To help you on this journey, I have created the Know Your Business Numbers course. We will walk through how to read your profit and loss statement. You'll learn the key calculations that'll help ensure that you're making a healthy profit on all of your products or services, plus a ton of other good stuff that'll help you learn how to use those business numbers to create even more sales and profits. Just check out the link below in the show notes or visit knowyourbusinessnumberscourse.com. So if you're ready to increase those profits, it's time you start diving into your business numbers.